Hey there! In today's video tutorial, I want to show you how you can use ClickUp to manage your blogs. Hi, my name is April, and at Bloggers on the Rise, I share the tips, tricks, and tools that I've used to grow 2 blogs to over 100,000 page views per month. If this sounds like the type of content that you're interested in, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications every time I post something new. Today we're looking at ClickUp. If you've already seen my video on Airtable, you know that I love to use technology to manage all things related to my blog. I've been using ClickUp for a couple months now and I'm absolutely in love with it. In fact, I'm in the process of getting everything moved over from Airtable to ClickUp. ClickUp has a variety of different versions. There is a completely free version, which is the version I got started out on, and I'm now on the $5 a month plan. I use it with my team to manage my work tasks, but you can also use it as just an individual person, which is how I got started. So let's take a look at how you could set up ClickUp to help keep track of all the things related to your blog. The first thing that you want to know is the basic structure of ClickUp is spaces, folders, and lists. And then each list would have tasks, and each task can have subtasks, and you can even have checklists within a task. So spaces, folders, lists, tasks, and then subtasks. So it gives you a nice way to kind of drill down into the smallest elements that you need to get completed. Here you can see my personal space, which is where I have housework and work stuff, and then cleaning and organization. And the basic setup is you're going to have a task, and then ideally you'll want to set a due date, because if it's not on the calendar, it's probably not going to get done. Now, if it's just you working on stuff, then you don't have to assign yourself to it. Because I work with a team, a lot of times I like to be in me mode, which just shows my tasks. So it helps that I assign tasks to myself. So you won't see me assign anything during this sample, but if you work with a team, you'll need to do that. So let's go ahead and create a space for our blog. We're going to go to add space, and then let's call this sample blog name. And I would typically just put my blog name. Now my structure is a little bit different because I do work with a team, but this is how you could set it up if you are just one person running your blog, well, like a normal person. You're going to go ahead and select a color and then select an icon and click next. And I'm going to make this private just because I do work with a team. I don't want it in my general workspace, but typically you would just leave it where it is. And then you're going to set up statuses for your space. Now you can actually customize the statuses for your list, so this isn't as important. You can just leave custom and click next, and I'll show you how to change it for each folder as we go along. You probably want to make sure that you have time tracking enabled. Custom fields, you can use custom fields as part of the free plan, but only 100 uses. So if you really do need a free tool, you may want to stay away from using it because otherwise you get dependent on it and you upgrade. But honestly, $5 a month is so worth it for this tool. And then priority, if you use that, I don't, but I'll leave it on. And then tags is actually what we'll be using quite a lot in the keyword research phase. I also like to ensure that the calendar view is turned on. So these are what's by default going to be in the space. And then once you're done, we'll go ahead and create the space. Now within the space, we're going to need to create some folders. So here are the folders that I would recommend for a blog, but keep in mind that you can completely customize this to fit your individual needs and how your workflow works. So we're going to have a folder called keyword research. And then the list on that is going to be our categories. So let's say we're doing animals in the snow as our blog. So my list names are then my categories or my silos for that blog. So this blog has 3 categories. It has penguins, reindeer, and polar bears. Okay, So I'll add those in and click done. And then I'm going to go ahead and create folder. Now, if you missed one, you can add it here and just create list as well. So if you missed it in that step, you can always add it in this step. And if you need to, you can rename it to whatever you like. Okay. So now we can add in our keyword research. So let me add that in really quick. And I'm just going to copy over a list from Airtable. And one of the great things about ClickUp is that if you're transitioning from a different setup, you can quickly and easily do it. So here I've copied in a list of keywords for reindeer. I'm going to hit paste and see what it did there. It detected multiple lines. So that means that it will create one task per line if I ask it to, which is what I'm going to do. So create 43 tasks. Bam, there it is. Okay, and then I'll do that for the other categories as well. Then I'll go to polar bears and create that, and then I'll come over to penguins and do the same thing. Okay, so the next thing that I like to do is tag my keywords based on difficulty. So when I'm doing my keyword research, one of the things I like to do is say, okay, how difficult is it going to be to win this task? So to do that, I'll come in and select the tasks, and you can do this one by one. And I'm just going to do them in a group for the purpose of this video. So we're going to say that these are low difficulty. And then you can also create a medium and a high. And then I actually only want these to be low. Oh, okay, we'll leave it high. And then the next one we'll do, let me clear that selection. And to select these, I'm just clicking and then holding shift and clicking all the way down. And then we're going to set these to low. And then dismiss. And then let's say I want to set just these ones to high or to medium. Okay. Now the first thing off the bat that I don't like is that they're all kind of the same reddish color. So for visual, a quick look, I would like the low ones to be green. They're going to be easier to win. So I'll go ahead and change that. And now they're all green. And medium aren't going to be as hard to win as reds, so I'll change those to orange. So now when I'm going through my list, I can quickly see what's easy, what's more difficult, what's that kind of thing. So let's just go in and select a few here. So now you've gotten all of your keyword research done. You've got your keywords you've got all of your keywords organized by category in each category, and then you've set up some kind of tagging or identification system, whatever works for you, to prioritize keywords. If you want to write notes about a specific keywords, like this is a book. I don't know if this is a book. I'm just writing that. You can write it inside the task. And then the next folder that we're going to create is in progress. And you can name this whatever you like. Now the lists for in progress can be whatever you like. I typically have a few different lists. What I'll have is a list that is in progress, needs pins, and needs review. And then statuses will change in a minute. So go ahead and create folder. Now the way that I set up these statuses is a little bit different. So I'm going to go into the list settings and edit list statuses. It's inherited the statuses from the folder, which is just to do and complete, but I actually want something different here. So I'm going to go custom. And then you can choose from the ones that they have available, or you can just create your own. So in custom, for example, let's say I want one that says needs to be written, in progress, ready to edit, And then, oops, ready to edit. Let's say we want that color to be red. And then, let's see, needs to be written, in progress, ready to edit, ready for pictures. I like to batch these tasks, and again, you can change it to whatever you like that works for you, and then complete. And for complete, I'm going to rename this to published. And let's save that. Now those colors are really important as we move things through. You can see they're at the top here. You can see the colors gray, purple, red, orange, and green. And then for Pinterest, I like a different set of statuses. So we're going to go into list settings again, and we're going to go edit list statuses, and we'll do custom. And I've already got those saved as a template, which is great that you can save them. So I have pins created, pin descriptions done, and then pins scheduled. Now keep in mind that I made sure that these colors are different than the other colors, and I'll show you why that matters in a moment. And then needs review, I just leave at the default statuses are to do and done. But typically what I'll do is I'll change the color. Oops. I'll change the color of to do. So let's get rid of this one. And I'll change the color of this to something that's not in use. Let's do, I can't remember what I've used, so let's do this blue. And again, I'll show you why in a moment. Okay, so now we've got all of we've got our folder set up with our lists, and we've got each list set up with its different statuses and the different colors. Let's move some stuff over now. So let's say it's the beginning of the month, and we've decided we want to write 20 posts this month. So the way that I do it is each month I'll go in and I'll pull over the exact posts that I want to write. Now what I typically do is start with the low keywords. So I've clicked on the folder, it's showing me everything in here, but now I want just the ones that are low difficulty. So I'm going to filter by tag, low. And now I have all of the low difficulty keywords. So let's say I want all of these, that's 3, and then I want these ones, and then I want these ones. What I'm going to do is click up here and go move to my blog folder, in progress, to the in progress folder. Now it's going to ask me what status to set them to. And right now they all need to be written. And then I'm going to click done. Now I'm going to click on my in progress folder. I'm going to click the calendar view. And on the right hand side, we're going to see that all of these tasks are unscheduled. That's because while they were in the keyword research folder, they did not have a date assigned to them. But at the beginning of the month, what I do is I add each and every one of these to the calendar. And I might start off with an every other day posting schedule, for example. Doing this at the beginning of the month, it kind of sets up my schedule for the month. I know what I need to get done when, and then I can move things around as needed if they don't fit. So let's get these few added here. And then I have some extra ones so I can fill in the gap. Let's say I want to do a post every Wednesday. And just fill in that posting schedule. Okay, so now they're all scheduled. As I work on a post, I'll move it through the stages. Let's say this one's ready for pictures. And this one is in progress. And let's say that this one actually was published already. or scheduled. So I use scheduled and published the same color. You'll notice that the one that was set to publish disappeared from this calendar view, but that's okay. We'll fix that in a minute. So just as I'm working on a post, I'll set them to different statuses as I work through my workflow. So once a post is published, I actually don't keep it on this board. I move it to the Needs Pins. So what I'll do is pick it up and move it to Needs Pins. It wants me to set a status, so the status is to do. And then I'll click Done. And now when I come into my Needs Pins board, I can see all of the posts that I need to make pins for. What I typically like to do is make sure that that Needs Pins status is actually a different color. Let's make it this color. And the reason for that is that I like to work on the folder level in the calendar view. And in the calendar view, we can see now that this one's pink, which means, for me at least, that it needs pins. So when I'm working on my content for the month, I can quickly come into the calendar view. Anything that is gray has not started writing. Anything that is orange needs pictures. Anything that's purple is in progress. Anything that's red is ready to edit. Let's get one that's ready to edit. And I can at a glance see what needs to be done and what stage everything is in. Now, ideally, you can see here I have it, these are grayed out because we're on the 9th of the month, and that's a setting in here to gray out, fade out tasks in the past. If I have done my job right, all of the tasks in the past will be pink, which means they're waiting for pins or some shade of pink, depending on if I've made the pins or scheduled the pins or what have you. Anything in gray coming up is stuff I know that I need to write, and so on. What that also means is that if I don't get to write a post, I can just quickly pick it up and move it to a different day. But I really try to avoid doing that because pushing things along doesn't help build your content. This is what my calendar looks like when it's all filled in. Now keep in mind that this is way overkill. If you're not managing 7 different active blogs like I am, then there's no way your calendar would look like this, right? So in this case, in order to keep things straight for me, each blog has an icon. And so I put that icon in front of the task so that when it appears in my calendar, I know exactly which site that blog post is for. And that way I can kind of schedule out and make sure that each site is getting a good spread. And I can also filter by site if I wanted to up here. The other thing is that my colors are a little bit different here, but gray is posts that need to be written. So you can see that this screenshot was taken on Friday the 8th, and this post had not been written yet. And I had also failed to write this post on Thursday. So in general, I get all of my tasks done, but when I don't, they're there, and that reminds me that I need to reschedule that task for a different date. So I can move it back to unscheduled by removing the due date, or I can just move it along down the calendar however I like. Now, one of the fun things that I do have set up is ClickUp added a new automations feature, which automatically can move posts from one folder to the next. So for example, in progress, we have a published column, right? So when posts are published, I like them to move directly into the needs pins. So let's see how the ClickUp can handle that as an automation. So we'll go into list and we'll click this little alien dude and click add automation. And we're going to say when status changes, move to a list. And when we're going to say when status changes from active to closed, move to list, our blog space, and the list is in progress. Sorry, the folder is in progress, and the list we want it to move to is needs pins. We're going to click create, and it's going to say, okay, but you've got all these statuses, and those statuses don't match the statuses in the needs pin, so we're just going to change all to do. So no matter what status it started in, it's going to change it to do. And then click Done. And how that works now is if we click on this post and we say it's all done and published, see it's here in the list, folder in progress, list in progress. We're going to set that to published. And you see how quickly that changed to do, the Pinterest pink to do. And we'll see that needs pins list now has that post. So automations is super cool. The only caveat to that is that the free plan of ClickUp only allows 10 automations per month. So if you're writing 10 blog posts or less each month, that would work perfectly to move it between folders. If you're using more than that and you want to take advantage of the automations feature, the next upgrade is a $5 a month ClickUp plan, which includes 1,000 automations. So $5 a month, with how much help this program has been to keep my blogs organized, is well worth it. But I hope this video helps give you an idea of how you can use ClickUp to manage your blogs. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And if you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications every time I release a new video.